All right, today I will be doing my air brake test. I will be working with my primary air gauge for my air brake test. The first thing I'm going to do is what's called a safety start. I'm going to make sure my trailer and parking brake are applied. My truck is in neutral. Then I will go ahead and start the truck. My ABS light came on. My ABS light went off. That's an indication it's working properly. I will now start the truck. Slowly releasing the clutch. All right, my next test is going to be my governor cutout test. I will rev my engine no more than 1500 RPMs because it could damage my engine, a maximum of 140 PSI. Okay, my governor has cut out at 135 PSI. I know this because my needle has stopped rising. My next test is going to be my applied air leakage test. To do this test, I will put my truck into low gear, turn the engine off, but leave it on the on position, then release my trailer and parking brake and wait for my needles to settle. I will now hold down my service brake and wait for my needles to settle again. All right, my needles has settled at 100 PSI. I will continue to hold down my service brake for 1 minute. During this minute, I cannot lose no more than 4 PSI. 3 for my tractor and 1 for my trailer. My minute starts now. Okay, I am still at 100 PSI. My minute is up. I did not lose no more than 4 PSI. 3 for my tractor and 1 for my trailer. This is a good test. Next, I will test my low air pressure warning devices. My lights and buzzers should activate between 55 and 75 PSI, no lower than 55 PSI. I will now fan my brakes until my lights and buzzers activate. Okay, my lights and buzzers activated at 60 PSI. This is a good test because they activated between 55 and 75 PSI, no lower than 55 PSI. My next test is going to be my emergency pop-out valves. My emergency pop-out valves should activate between 20 and 45 PSI, no lower than 20 PSI. I will now fan my brakes until my emergency pop-out valves activate. My emergency pop-out valves activated at 30 PSI. This is a good test because they activated between 20 and 45 PSI, no lower than 20 PSI. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is what's called a safe start. I'm gonna make sure my trailer and parking brake are applied, put my truck back into neutral, then I will go ahead and start the truck. Slowly releasing the clutch. All right, I'm gonna do another governor cutout test. I will rev my engine no more than 1500 RPMs to reach governor cutout, maximum of 140 PSI. Okay, my governor has cut out at 135 PSI. I know this because my needle has stopped rising. All right, my next test is gonna be my trailer, parking, and my service brake test. I will put my truck into low gear, apply my trailer brake, and release my parking brake. And I will pull forward for a tug test to test my trailer brake. Slowly releasing the clutch. My trailer brake held. This is a good test. Now I will test my parking brake. I will activate my parking brake, release my trailer brake, and try to pull forward for another tug test. And my parking brake should hold. My parking brake held. This is a good test. Now I'm gonna test my service brake. I will release my trailer brake and my parking brake. And I will pull forward for about 3 to 5 feet. My trailer should not pull to the left or to the right. Slowly releasing the clutch. My service brake held. This is a good test. My trailer did not pull to the left or to the right. Now I will activate my trailer brake, activate my parking brake, put my truck back into neutral, and that concludes my air brake test.